take just a second here and show you a couple of tricks to use when you're playing a lap style dobro. First of all, when you're playing a chord, with a dobro, you have to trust your ears, because you can't see because the slide in your hand is over the fret. So you have to trust your ears. But the slide has to be completely straight. Everyone has different ways of playing. I'm a self-taught lunkhead guitar player, so I kind of hold it between my two fingers like this. Use my index finger to control the slide. And again, L shapes, as I showed you in one of the previous lessons. You'll notice I mute slightly behind it, unless I want to play behind it, in which case on a harmonic I get this sound. Only on the harmonic, though, that'll only work there. That was a little trick. Got to keep things interesting. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is show you, for example, that's a 1 chord, or a G chord. Obviously on the 2nd fret would be A, 4th fret B, C, and so on, D, E, F, G, up the neck, just like you have to apply simple music theory to that. Now, one of the big tricks I like to use is what's called a slant. And one of my favorite players, obviously, besides the great D'Addario user Jerry Douglas, Rob Ikes, is Jerry Byrd, who is one of probably the best steel guitar player of all time. And if I can ever get a 10th as good as he is in my entire lifetime, I'll be a very happy person. But one of the things he started to do, and other dobro players started to do, was called a slant. So if I'm here, I'm on the C chord at the 5th fret on the top 3 strings. And instead of just sliding up to get the 4 chord or the F chord here, I can slant the bar. Now, in order to do this, I'm going to keep this forward so you can see it on the camera. I move the back of the slide, so the back of the slide is up here all the way to the 3rd string now. All right? And then what I'm going to do is, while I keep that there, it's important to pivot the slide up 2 frets, the point of it. If you do that, and you keep the back of the slide right at the 5th fret, but if I do it on my lap, now you'll be able to see, or at least here, I just practiced playing, so the very tip of the slide, the back of the slide is at the 3rd string now, so it's very far forward, and I'm holding the slide like this, so I can pivot it. So basically, if I could do this, and not let that back note move, I'll go from a C to an F chord. Watch, again, just to checking it. Now if I pivot the slide forward, I can hear the 4 chord. Now, one of the great tricks to do with dobro is to, for example, I'm going from a C to an F chord, then I go up to where the F chord would be, up here at the 10th fret. So then I'm going to do bar slants, and what I'm doing to get this minor triad, so I have this little lick here. That's a little thing about slants. Here's how to play other chords playing lap style, especially when we have 3 major triads, G, D, and D on the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings, and G, B, and D on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. Now, one of the things to do here is if you play 3 frets up while playing the bass string, in other words, I'm playing on the 3rd fret on the top 3 strings, so a B flat chord in G tuning, on the 3rd fret, on just the top 3 strings while playing the G string on the bottom, I'll get a G minor 7th chord, so B flat over G. That's how I handle minor chords. Major 7th chords, I simply play a 5th up, so in this case, against the G note, I'll play a G triad on the 7th fret, and if I play that against the open G, I get a major 7th chord. Now, if I wanted to go with a 4 chord major 7th, I just play the C note on the 5th fret on the 6th string and the open top 3 strings. So I have C, G, B, D, which is basically a C major 9. So this would be a G major 9 and a C major 9. Now, to get a 7th chord on any chord, I simply raise the 1st and 2nd strings up 3 frets, and that'll give me a 7th chord, because what happens here on the 2nd string, that would be the 5th of the chord, or the 3rd of the chord, and the 1st string would be the 5th of the chord. If I raise the third up 3 frets, I get the fifth, and if I raise the fifth up 3 frets, I get the flat seventh. So watch, listen how this sounds.